my first question will be very much simple. Coach Brendan Truter was here, and he says Orlando Pirates are favourites for this final. What would your response be?
Good afternoon. I take it, I accept it. We are Orlando Pirates. Any game we're going to play, we have to accept that role and that pressure, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that it's going to be an easy game, and just because we are Orlando Pirates, we're going to make it. We have to be mentally prepared for a difficult game, because first of all, it's a final. Second, it's a very difficult team. They show it several times this season against, especially when they face the favorites, let's say. So we know what's coming, and we know the amount of kilometers and the amount of runnings that we have to do in this game if we want to be the winning team in the end of the 90 or 95 or 120 or whatever is coming.
Thank you, Coach. We'll take questions from the floor. This is, of course, a press conference. It's not my press conference, it's your press conference. So let's take questions. I saw a hand there, Karabo. You can get the mic to him. Let's pass it on.
Good afternoon, Coach. Karabo from Supersport. Coach, welcome to Toronto Pirates once again. Is this what you've imagined, coming through Toronto Pirates first season, already won a trophy, taking the club back to the premium continental football, and now, on the verge of winning a second trophy, possibly on Saturday? Is this what you saw, how you sold yourself, to this club when you arrived at the beginning of the season? Thank you.
I didn't think about it before. I mean, once again, I want to sound good when I say this, but where we are, it's the reason why we have the opportunity to fight for titles. I mean, we have a fantastic structure. We have a big squad full of talent that allowed you to dream about it. Then you have to find a way that you want to do it, to win. There's many different ways to win in this sport. We try to find our own, but we are in the right place to do it. So it's not a surprise that we can be one of the teams who is fighting for the titles with other group of. So obviously, when you start the season and you are riding a club like this or driving a team like this, it's obvious that you think about being the final games. Then get the titles requires a lot of things that must happen during the season. Dynamics, injuries, a piece of luck that you need also to win in the games. But we are in the right place, so it's not a surprise to see our name in the last game, the last game of every tournament. I'm so happy to make it possible, to be part of the group who is making this possible, to give some reasons to trust on us, to our fans, to the people who's following us, which is one of the important things, if not the most. And it's been a long journey since we start, and I'm very proud to. I think we are the only team who played every possible game this season. So, like I said weeks ago, it tells quite a lot about how competitive the group is.
Okay, let's move the mic to. Okay, Clyde, you can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Coach. Clyde from Supersport.com. Coach, you've been nominated for Coach of the Season. And when you look at the other two candidates in Gavin Hunt as well as Coach Rulani, where do you place yourself there? And do you think winning this cup will also rubber stamp your position? Thank you.
I'm really focusing in what's coming on Saturday. We have a final. We have an opportunity to lift one more trophy this season with my team, with my players, with my coaching staff, with all the people around the club, with our fans. That's the only thing that occupies my mind so far. I'm not aware. I'm not concerned about anything else, to be honest, than what's coming on Saturday, 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Coach. Lawrence?
Coach, Lorenzo from Midwestern Times. It was on Tuesday, Miguel Tim said winning the Nedbank Cup will not make up for what happened in the league this season. Is that the general consensus in the Pirates squad that, not being competitive for the league title is not good enough for this entire campaign?
Can you imagine how competitive we are? That we can finish the season with 2 trophies, second spot, but still we are not satisfied. And it's the truth. I don't want to be arrogant because I'm not. Okay, so it's a competition, and what we want in every competition is play until the end, have the opportunity to fight until the end, and we didn't in the league. It's a fact. So that's something that we accept it, and we try to correct and understand what happened in that competition, that we didn't have the opportunity to fight until the end. At the same time, we have to be proud of what we did, especially in 2023, in the last 12, 14 games, I don't know how many, but we managed to, again, to be consistent in the tournament, to be one of the best teams, let's say, in terms of performances. I think we were the best in terms of our results, but also the performances were good. So we look for the future with more optimism and in a strong way. But that's the pain, let's say, that we couldn't fight until the end. Our purpose was to fight until the end in the Nedbank, in the MTN, no matter who, and we did it. I'm not talking about the results. I'm not saying this just because we are in the final, so we are great and blah, 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 no. But in the league, we were not, and I think that I'm repeating myself, but we were not consistent. It's a fact. We collect too many bad results in a period of the season and that's why we couldn't fight. And that's the pain that, in this case, Miguel expressed, and it's there in the locker room, and we take it serious, and we will try to do it better the next time we have the opportunity.
Siasanga?
Coach Siasanga from Sunday World. I know that you don't really like talking about individual players, but please take us through the state of readiness of Tim Kosiloch. We saw him earlier this week in full training with the rest of the squad. Are we likely to see him feature in the final on Saturday? Thank you.
We just finished the -2 training 1 hour ago. We will face tomorrow the -1 training with 31 players available to be selected. That's the good thing. And they are all very good players, to be honest. So let's see who's coming to the field on Saturday. I'm not going to say who's going to play, obviously. I have a headache tomorrow again to not only to select the start 11, even to take the 20 players in the list. You can imagine the names who are not going to be in that 20. So whoever is coming to the field is coming with the intention to give their all for the club, for the team, for the group, in order to make possible to get one more trophy for our club. So let's see what's coming. The good news, like I said, is that we have almost 100% of the players available for selection.
Pendula?
Coach, Benjamin Siole here, friends. Congratulations on reaching the final, Coach. Coach, you just mentioned that you didn't think that at the beginning of the season you didn't think that you come this far out of the Pirates in terms of playing 2 finals, being nominated for coach of the season, I mean, finishing in second place in the league. But in a sport where coaches come and go, and now that you've experienced the feeling of winning trophies and you have a chance of winning another one, how much of a legacy you want to leave at Orlando Pirates now that you're in the mood of winning trophies and making sure that the club is a better team in competing for the league as well come next season? Thank you.
Legacy. Oof, that's a lot. Look, I'm just part of a big structure. One more time, I'm the one who must come here and say what's going on and stuff like that. But it's a big structure. We trying to really push to make sure that Pirates is in the place that belongs, and it's gonna happen. You can be 100% sure it's gonna happen. With Riveiro, without Riveiro, it's just going to happen soon. And that's what we do. We try to work hard every day to make sure that we are at the level that the place where we are requires. I'm a bit annoying with this, but it's a fact. And make sure or be sure that it's going to happen. So it is not about legacy. I have to do my job. I have to do my role during the time that the people who brought me here requires me to do it. Until the end, with the same passion, with the same dedication, and with the same ethic. Hopefully, myself with the people who is around, we manage to leave something there that they can give continuity in the future. But still, I have 2 more years, so I don't want to talk about legacy. So far, we're going game by game. Saturday is a game that makes us feel very motivated, and we really want to play a good football game first of all, and it's a final, and the most important in the end is going to be, usually in the league, the most important is to take the 3 points, no matter who or no matter how. Imagine in a final. So I think it's early to talk about. Well, it's a good question, but I think it's early to talk about that.
Matlatsi?
Good afternoon, Coach. Coach, a lot of people sort of agree that when you look back at your season, it has been a fairly good season. People are saying that it has been a fairly good season. You've won the other cup. The players have improved in the national team. Champions League. Now you are in this other one. To say, regardless of what happens in the final, it has been a good season. And if you win in the final, it will be a very good season. But I just want to check with you, what do you say to people at the beginning of the season who sort of ridiculed you without knowing you, including us in the media? What do you respond to those people who were calling your names and all this other stuff, which was unfair, I must say?
You know what's coming, I think. That's nothing I have to say. I mean, people have the freedom to say what they want, to share opinions, to do evaluations, to speculate. I understand very well where am I, the expectations around my position because of the amount of people who's following the club and the team and the results and the performances. So the moment that I sign here, I must accept it and just do my work as good as possible. But there's no, how can I say, sorry guys, there's no regrets, there's nothing to say about it. It's normal, it's a normal thing. We have to talk about something. Right, we have a lot of time every day to use in our phones, in our computer. We have to talk about something. Sometimes it's politics, sometimes it's football, and Pirates attracts a lot of attention. So I have to accept it, and yeah, that's all. I think it's a normal thing. And then if you have the possibility and the platforms to spread opinions, and that opinion is going to it's gonna touch many people. Well, you have to be also responsible about that, and be serious with your opinions. But that's something that I cannot. There's nothing I can do. The only thing that I can do is to do my best every single day, every single morning with my group, with my players, and make sure, like I said before, that we are at the level that the club requires. That's all.
Thank you, my brother there. Just forgot the name.
Young assistant from Daily Mail coach. Afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to find out, coach. Obviously, Coach Fish has said that you guys are favorites. You've backed him up. From a technical perspective, between you and your colleagues, how do you make sure that the players don't take that into mind and head that into a match with that perspective, knowing especially in the matches against Football Academy, Ghana Football Academy, and Rondell Stars, how difficult they were, even though you guys came in as favorites. So how do you make sure that the players come in with their feet on the ground?
There's nothing specific we have to do. I mean, if you see the players this week, if you had the opportunity to see them training this week, I can tell you 100% that there's no room for, that thought that maybe they are extra confident or relaxed. Because the rhythm this week was something crazy. I mean, like I said, there's many players available for selection. They are all trying to convince the coach that they are the right choice, they are the right option. So the level in the trainings this week was even higher than usually. And they really want to win. And they know, because we already played Sekhukhune 2 times this season, one under Twitter and the other one not. We collect 0 points in Polokwane early in the season, and I can tell you that was not a nice game. Was not. And then we had a recent experience in Orlando, where we did have a lot of possession, a lot of attempts to the goal, not many shots on target, and we couldn't beat them. And we tried. We took that game serious because we want and we need those 3 points. So we know. We analyzed several times Sekhukhune in a short space of time, and we know about the difficulty, and we know the places where we can win the game and the places where we can lose the game. So there's nothing else that we can do than do our normal job with the players and try to convince them about how difficult it's gonna be. But in this case, like I said, they know it, and then it's a final, and we go into the final like we did early in the season when we have the chance to play the final, not the occasion. We're gonna play the game, and we know, or we think we know, the way we have to approach this game one more time.